Welcome in. Week 10. AC, I can't believe it. Week 10 edition of the Cash Process. I'm your host, Ben Haas. I'm joined by the CEO himself, Anthony Carson. As always, we're going to shout out our sponsors, OwnersBox Fantasy. They did a really cool promo. Hopefully they do them again over the weekend, where if you entered into their main GPP, $12 to enter, you get a free $10 ticket to use in any contest, whatever sport you wanted yesterday. You can also get a free $10 entry by using our promo code KARMA at ownersbox.online. You also get a $500 deposit match. We have lightning lineups, projections like we drop in our Discord. Travis has been crushing that. Obviously, we have articles and projections portal for the DFS contests as well. So take advantage of that. Check out OwnersBox if you haven't yet. It's a great place to build a bankroll. There's less sharp players there, I feel like. I do think you have a better chance of winning a tournament on OwnersBox than any other site at the moment. But AC, we're here to give a little bit of reflection and then preview Week 10. But it was my best week of the year. First of all, 9-1 on DraftKings cash games is insane. I won on FanDuel as well, so 6-3 over there. So really, really good start to the season for the subscribers, and that's what's most important to me. Obviously, I want to make money, but it's so fun when like our lineups are doing good and everyone in Discord's going crazy. 9-1 is crazy. So I'm really happy for all the subscribers to get to 9-1, and then really, really good. I told you it was going to be scary if I had a good tournament week, and I finally did. Thank you, Justin Fields and Joe Mixon. But AC, how was your weekend? I mean, people saw my screenshots. I mean, it was a crazy week for me.
Absolutely are on fire in Fuego this year, and props to you. I'm so glad that you took down that ticket for the potential live final. You're definitely in the hunt for that, man. Seriously, congrats, because you work as hard as anybody in the industry. I say that every single week on here, every year. We've been doing this for a long time, so you got a lot of great mojo going on right now. And I'm looking forward to you getting to San Diego, man. So that'll be fun. And yeah, Discord was hopping this week. A lot of people winning a lot of money, and like you said, it's perfect. It's fun when everybody's winning, and that's what's been going on. I had a bad week myself personally. I made kind of a big dumb decision on DK Cash. I had the right lineup. I just decided to pivot off of the NFL record Justin Fields to Marcus Mariota that I thought would have been a better play in a dome game, avoiding the weather, and potentially getting the correlation with the multiple Chargers guys in my roster. That's how I historically have played. I had, our projections portal, which our premium subs can access. We were projecting them essentially the same projection, but ironically, I went with the leverage play, and I liked having the Chargers guys in my lineup for that correlation. And hey, it was a bad week. So, and then I got my teeth kicked in on FanDuel too. I kind of went a different way on FanDuel on purpose because it was super chalk over there. I mean, you had the 5K Dion running back getting 95% of the 50-50s I saw, which is just insane. And I knew that going in, so I didn't play as much volume over there this week, but I definitely lost there as well. So moving on to this week for me, I need to get back in the W column. But yeah, Ben, it's you've definitely been your best year ever. And like you said, you can access your core plays, the same ones that you're giving out for everybody at dfskarma.com, as well as, like I mentioned, the projections portal, which also showcases the ownership projections. Amongst that, the cheat sheets we were just looking at right before the final thoughts, right before we went on air. Joe Mixon's there, just plain as day from you, the horse's mouth, saying probably not a cash play, just the way lineup construction works, but it was the best play of the entire slate. So again, we highly encourage you to go through the content that we all have on both of these websites throughout the week and put yourself in a good position for the following week. All right, with that being said, you want to dive into DraftKings. It's Monday, it's early, not too much news out yet. Maybe some Josh Allen news. So if you want to start a quarterback, we can do that.
All right, so look, all I'm going to say is before we dive into this week, if I do make it to San Diego, I'm coming back with that 200K and the trophy. Like I will just say that right now. If I get there, I'm winning that thing. But yeah, let's dive in here. So kind of at least yeah, this is gonna be a true first look for us, because normally we've been doing this like Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. This is Monday, so we really have nothing. This is a true first look. At first glance, it looks like a similar slate to last week. It's only 10 games. Doesn't seem like a ton of apparent wide receiver value at all. And I will note that the line is not listed for Buffalo, Minnesota. And there's some rumblings that Josh Allen's elbow injury is worse than kind of anticipated. So I don't know if he's going to play in this game. So if he does play, obviously, we would like to get to him at 8,600. He'd be a great play. I'm not concerned about the bad game against the Jets, but the health is going to be the real concern here. So we're just not going to know about that until later on in the week. So we'll kind of skip over him. Outside of Josh Allen, Mahomes, monster game on Sunday Night Football. They play the Jags. If Allen's healthy, like, I'm going to play him over a 7,900 Mahomes, but Mahomes is always in play for tournaments. And then, oh God, AC, we got Fields again. He's up to 6,500, but they're at home against the Lions. Like, like just the nut run out for Fields. He's taken off, and now he plays the Lions. I don't know. I think people are going to want to play him after what he just did. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm absolutely 100% playing him, and I'm not even thinking about it. I'll let other people make that mistake this week, but it's fairly priced, right? 65 feels, even if he didn't have that amazing breakout game, I think we would still be highly considering him this week against the Lions. So we were just considering Aaron Rodgers last week. And that was with zero rushing upside. This is if it was in Detroit, my God, it'd be an absolute lock. But unless is there any other cheap guys that you're looking at?
Not particularly. I don't want any Rodgers, no Stafford. I don't think Derek Carr. I'll pass on. So I don't really see much of anything. Tua, like, for tournaments is fine, but yeah, I think it's probably Fields or I guess Allen or Mahomes again. Fields has the nut run out, dude. Had that huge game last week, plays Detroit this week, and then he plays in Atlanta next week.
Yeah,
what a stretch. But he's looked good too, man. Like, he's at, like, the last few weeks. It wasn't just, like, obviously what he did rushing yesterday. Like, we weren't expecting that, but, like, even as a passer, like, just their offense as a whole has looked much better the last couple weeks.
I agree with you. Like, watching that game, I was just tilting because I played Mariota, but I was surprised how clean and effective he looked. Besides the running, his throws were on target for the most part, to your point.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just not much going on at quarterback. Who sticks out for tournaments early for you? I guess. I don't even know, dude.
It's probably the Jacoby Brissett revenge game in Miami, honestly.
Yeah, look at these look at these quarterbacks. This is gross.
Yeah, it's a gross slate, so I think you can capture a lot of the upside. All joking aside, with the Tua, I haven't even checked the total yet. I'm refreshing BetKarma.com as we speak for the live odds to see if they are updated for next week. Do you have the total in that game? I'm super curious about that game in specific.
Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick. This looks, like I said, this looks a lot to me like last week, and I think it's going to be another really good tournament week if the chalk concentrates on, like, a similar build like it did last week. So many, I've never seen a week like that where everyone had the same lineup in cash games. Like, if it's like that again, and it's going to obviously heighten ownership in tournaments. So I think it's going to be another good week to kind of get off the board. Fields was 50% in cash, but he was not super high owned in tournaments. All right, total for the Browns game.
It's 48.5.
Yeah.
It's
high. Dolphins by -4, I see. So
I'm seeing 49 on some of the sports books right now. Again, I'm just looking at betkarma.com. It's a free tool, guys. If you want the premium stuff, you can see what we're actually projecting simulation-wise for the games, the totals, the spreads, and especially the prop predictor stuff, which is huge and helpful in DFS too. I study that, honestly, for even DFS as much as I do my prop bets. But again, another game I definitely anticipate that game getting DFS traction. It just depends on how the slate breaks out, right? We'll have to monitor the Buffalo news as well, like you said. So,
all right, we can switch over to running back here. So, my God, we have Houston on the slate. Is there anything worse? Saquon against Houston.
Oh God,
what are we doing here? Like, Houston
86?
has. Dude, they have the worst run defense I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, like what I don't know. What are we supposed to do with that? I mean, 8,600. It'll probably be tough to fit him, but I mean, dude, how do we not play him? And then again, some of these guys have gotten their price bumped up. Like ETN's up over 7K now. You have Alvin Kamara at 74. We'll see what he does on Monday night tonight. Jacobs is at 76, but it's kind of the same group of guys that we've been on. I feel like Henry is just popping off. I mean, they're at home against Denver. He's 8,300. The guy that stuck out to me is Dameon Pierce. He's only 63. So he doesn't really have like the pass catching ceiling that, Kamara or some of these guys have, but dude, they've been feeding him. I mean, they were losing to the Eagles and they gave him 27 rush attempts,
Yeah.
So 6,300 just feels, a little too cheap for if he's going to get 25 plus touches, which I think he's going to, because they keep making it a point like we're going to give him the ball, and it doesn't even seem like they care if they're losing.
We talk about a guy that looks really good running the ball too. Like on top of that, it's just that we're getting to the point of the season. Like, yes, we talk analytics and everything in our content and our Discord and all that, but man, now we have like an eye test sample of 9 games now, and he just really looks good running the ball. To your point, 63 looks very fair, honestly. I mean, Barkley, yeah, we're paying up for him at 86. It makes sense. I'm trying to build a roster right now with Fields, Barkley, Pierce just on this podcast because that seems like a nice route to go. Unless there is, again, it's so early in the week. Is there any cheap volume? I mean, I see Deion Jackson down there again at 54. I don't know. Is he hurt? I mean, did he come back in the game? I don't think he even came back in the game.
Yeah.
If there's any
I don't know about that. Jones is banged up too. I don't know if he's in danger of missing the game because I know they said his test came back negative, but like if for whatever reason he was out, like Dylan's not super cheap. He's 6,700, but I mean that would definitely bump him up. I will just say, dude, Deion Jackson, that was the worst play ever, like him on FanDuel. I did not play him in cash. I didn't care. I told people in Discord. They were blasting me before lock on Sunday, like, why are you not playing Deion Jackson? Like he's going to be like 80% on. I was like, I don't care. I was like, if he beats me, he beats me. But I mean, on the road in New England, what is Bill famous for, right? Shutting down these like young quarterbacks. Like I was like, this is just such a bad play, dude. I'm just God. But I mean,
played him though.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like you probably should have played him in cash. Like I probably should have, but whatever. I still won. Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy and good to go, I mean, 5,400 is still cheap. Obviously, it's a better matchup than what he saw last week. The Miami guys are interesting, but it's kind of like they have two now, so it's kind of like a little bit more of a difficult situation. And I think they want Jeff Wilson to be the guy, dude. I really do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say my favorite pivot of the week, like no doubt, homerism is Nick Chubb. I mean, 8,100. If these other guys up top are gonna get a strong look, especially if we mentioned Barkley, some of the other guys right there, Chubb is like I feel like in a great spot. I know they're on a road. Decently high total. It's kind of why I wanted to start with that, troll with that. But Miami they're not that great against the run, and there's going to be points scored. And frankly, the Browns are coming off a bye week. Like Chubb should get a healthy amount. I mean, he's just, in my opinion, he's the best running back in the NFL, just with everything combined with him. I love him as a pivot. Nobody ever plays him on DraftKings. I get it. He doesn't get many catches, but dude, he gets 2 catches a week. He has these like 2-3 touchdown game upside, and you can win a slate with that at 8,100.
Yeah. Before we move to receiver, I want to get your thoughts. Is this setting up? Is this going to be a David Montgomery? I know people will play Fields, but is it going to be a Montgomery chalk week? I mean, he's 6K and they play the Lions. Like I can't.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing worse than playing David Montgomery though, dude. It's just so annoying.
The problem is Herbert is there. Like it's like.
Yep.
It's an amazing leverage play to your point. It didn't even cross my mind until just now. Yeah, great point. Amazing leverage, but him or Herbert is going to go off, and it's going to troll the Fields stats.
Yeah, so I hate playing him, dude. There's nothing worse.
He had 2.6 yards a carry last week, 1 reception. I mean,
dude, that's like him though, dude. I mean, I think Herbert's better. I guess I don't know. Like Montgomery runs hard, but it feels like the offense like looks a little bit better when Herbert's in there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
For sure, he's got the juice.
All right, receiver. Yeah, dude. I don't think there's like any value, at all. So I think this is gonna be like early in the week. Like we're gonna get these like chalk projections on like Zay Jones at 4,400, and maybe some of the like Romeo Dobbs is not going to play, so maybe some of like the Green Bay guys pop a little bit when we get these first run projections coming out tomorrow. Rondale's 52. He's been really, really good. Like they've been leaving him in the slot, and I mean Kyler has been kind of feeding him, and he's 52. So like that's like the cheapest value I see. Like at the top, I mean, I don't know. How will you be able to fit in any of these guys? Like St. Brown had a bad game last week. He's 6,900. Like he's going to pop. Tyreek, dude, what Tyreek is doing is like insane, dude. I mean, he's on pace to shatter what Cooper Kupp did last year. It's like nuts. But he's 9,100, so I don't know.
I'm trying to fit him in. Like, it's just getting to the point in the season that this is incredible. And I'm going to try and stuff right now Hill with Barkley and Fields, and I guess we'll include Pearson. That's kind of like my building blocks, kind of still your slogan there for the week. I mean, I know that's probably not what my lineup's going to end up like, but on Monday, this is where my brain's at. Like, I want to ride or die with the Fields, Hill, Barkley combination this week.
Yeah, Christian Kirk is cheap. He's 5,900. That's interesting. This is gross, dude. I don't see like anybody cheap. I mean, this is disastrous. Even last week, Darnell Mooney was in like the 4K tier, and he's like over 5K now. Like this is this is rough.
That's a lot.
Alan Lazard is gonna pop with Dobbs out, but I mean potentially seeing Diggs. You know, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? 6,100.
6,100. It's probably a move I wouldn't do in cash, but I don't know. He has been playing. I mean, they are going against Dallas too now. I just don't find myself doing that, to be honest. I feel like I'd rather play some other guys.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then let's just break it by tier here real quick, and then we'll move to tight end because it's so early in the week. Like, I'm not going to give a definitive take on these guys, but I think as of right now, there's not any great value. We'll see if anything opens up, but I think like kind of like last week, like Zay Jones was projected to be like the highest owned receiver on like Wednesday, and then by the time we got to the weekend, people were realizing you weren't really able to play him with who you wanted, so they were like if they wanted to play Josh Allen, they were dropping down to the low 3K tier and just throwing darts at, you know, Tyquan Thornton or whatever. Or what happened was people moved off Allen to get to the mid tier and get Godwin and St. Brown in. But I think at the top, the gap has kind of closed. Like Cooper Kupp was close to 10K for a while. He's down to 9K. So he's actually like Tyreek is more expensive by $100. Who would you lean out of those top like 4 or 5 guys? I mean, Adams got loose again. Diggs obviously is not going to be in play if Allen's out. So it's kind of like Tyreek, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, and Devontae, and then you could throw Hopkins in maybe at 8K.
I feel like it's, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like it's Tyreek, like out of anybody. And even though he's the highest price, I usually historically don't want to do that in DFS. But again, it's early. Like we keep saying, if there's some value, I think I'm going to find a way to get there. But man, Cooper Kupp in that matchup against Arizona, Lockett just did well in the slot there. I think there is a stigma about Arizona being a better defense than they are. So Kupp's just like a lock too, man. You need exposure to Kupp this week. And I feel like the DFS, population has not been playing as much Kupp recently. He is going to absolutely burn one of these slates. I mean, he played well again last week, but there was just so many points being scored, it kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I agree. Kupp versus Tyreek is really tough. I'd probably go tournaments like whichever one is lower owned, which weirdly I think is going to be Kupp. Like I think more people will play Tyreek based off what he's been doing, but we'll see. It'll all come down to roster construction and how you're building teams and stuff as we progress through the week. Early mid-tier guys that stick out though, St. Brown at 69 is going to project very well. Even though he had a down game, he's going to project well. People will be on him for cash. Christian Kirk, Juju at 6K, Zay Jones, Rondale, those are the guys that I think are going to pop. I guess you could throw in maybe like Khalif Raymond again, but God, I mean,
I was hoping you'd say I've been waiting for one guy's name. All those names, and you didn't mention him. I think this guy is considering for cash. Again, just depending how the slate shakes out, but he's my favorite play of the entire slate this week. Depending
of the
on
entire slate?
Yes.
Who is it?
Amari Cooper at 6,500.
Okay.
The fact that we didn't say that, and again, maybe he will become popular. I don't know. Again, we don't know. It's Monday. We're doing this so freaking early. but damn, that price looks freaking amazing for. I'm not calling him a number one, but he's a number one kind of like in our system right now, and he's playing very well. And I get it; it's a road game; it's not always ideal, especially going down south. But damn, the Browns are going to be scoring points this week, and this is the Browns. I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. They're the number one ranked EPA team in the league on offense in several categories. I mean, obviously not passing, but as a team, we are going to score points. And Amari's been so involved that I feel like he's in cash play this week. Imagine getting a Hill Cooper combo in your main lineup, even if it's, with Fields, right, and Barkley. But I don't know how to do it right now. It's just something I'm kind of looking at.
Yeah, I like Cooper. I mean, dude, he won me so much money on that Monday night game against the Bengals. We had him in the captain. He was 7% owner in the captain on Showdown. So you can always sell me on him. I would say early for me, Juju at 6K looks really, really good. I know they have a lot of guys. I know they brought in Tony, but dude, he's been so good the last few weeks. And they're unable to run the football. Like, people have had this narrative about the Bills, like, not being able to run the football the last few years. The Chiefs literally cannot run the football right now. Like, they are throwing so much, and they're just going to continue to do it. So it doesn't even matter that they have got, like, Juju and two other guys can eat every game because they just throw the ball so much.
All right, let's go to tight end. Unless there's anyone else you want to
No,
go over.
that about does it. I mean, we'll see later on what the projections do. Obviously, when I do the podcast later on in the week with Sam, we'll have a more clear idea, so we can give some definitive takes on where the cash pool is and then who we'll be pivoting to. This is obviously just a first look, but at tight end, Travis Kelce back on the slate for the first time in a while. They've been on a lot of these primetime games, so he's going to lead projections. He's going to lead salary. You're not going to be able to play him in cash, but for tournaments, it's a good play. For cash, I mean, Tunyon is there at 37. I think he'll be, he's going to project well, especially if Dobbs is out. 37, I think, is a good price for him. If Waller's out, I mean, I don't know. It's 2 weeks in a row. It kind of looked like Darren Waller was going to play, and then he doesn't play. So if he just doesn't play again, Foster Moreau will be the chalk cash game option again, like he has been the last 2 weeks with that late news. Yeah, I mean, those guys stick out. You got TJ Hawkinson. I don't think you're playing him in cash, obviously, but man, dude, they were like making it a point to get him the ball in his first game in Minnesota, and he's only gonna play more and more snaps, like the more comfortable he gets on the team. So for tournaments, I would file that away. But yeah, I think cash Moreau if Waller's out, and then maybe one of these cheap guys. I mean, people might do the Brock Wright thing again. He's 2,700.
Did he have any catches?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea because I didn't play him, so I don't even know what he did.
Yeah. He had one target, 0 catches.
Yeah, I know. So the backup to him, that James Mitchell, like people were kind of excited about him because he's kind of like a Logan Thomas. He's a former quarterback. And then he ended up scoring, like he had like a red zone touchdown. I remember I saw that. But
yeah, I saw that. Cole Kmet could get steamed because he had 6 targets last week. I mean, it's typical.
Oh, yeah, dude. People will do the Cole Kmet thing. Yes, they will.
They're gonna pair him with Fields. I mean,
yeah.
I would guess he's gonna be the number one owned guy in the slate. To be honest,
Dude, what's really messed up is the Millie Maker was a 3v3 off my lineup, and it was like a double stack with Cole Kmet and then Kenny Walker, and then taking out I had Gerald Everett and Terry McLaurin. Like literally, yeah, just so annoying. But yeah, people will definitely play Kmet, dude. Yeah, they'll see it in the game log too, like 2 touchdowns. They'll be all in.
Yeah, Kmet's going to be highly owned in this slate. There's no doubt, especially because Fields is going to be highly owned. So, again, cash games will be very chalk, and it'll come down to a couple of pivots. But this is DFS in 2022, heading to 2023 soon. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll add tight end-wise is, when you're making your 3 max entry lineups, guys, essentially look at Kelce. I know the price sucks. It's gross. It's high. But in one of your tournaments, we already talked about Juju being highly owned probably on this slate. I'm telling you, get exposure to a Kelce because a lot of times on these slates, one of these cheap guys are going to be chalk. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Kmet. If they dunk a 0 or a couple of points and Kelce goes off for 30, the standard deviation is so insane that it really doesn't matter too much on the rest of your lineup. Like you'll be way out in front of the game. I mean, of course, you need a good lineup, but I hope that makes some sense. That's something I like to try and do on slates like this.
Yeah. All right, we can finish up at D. I mean, whatever. 2,200 Vikings against potentially Case Keenum, like that could be, you know, our little cash game chalk. Yeah, you can throw any of these cheap any of these cheap defenses in. I will say, dude, I can't believe. Oh yeah, for sure. And then I can't believe, dude, I won. I have never hit on a spend up defense. Every time I build a tournament team with a spend up D, I'm like, I'm such a fish spending 4K for a defense, and it finally came through. Patriots against Sam Ellinger over 25 points, dude. Finally hit on the expensive defense,
and that you
man.
needed it.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna lose I was still gonna win this $50 tournament I was in, but I thought that I was going to lose the ticket because someone had ETN and they passed me, and he was just going crazy in the second half. I didn't have him, but then, dude, the Patriots got that pick 6, and like that is literally what won me the tournament. It's crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. Great way to finish the pod, guys. Again, you can dabble and tail Ben's course. Literally, mine as well, but Ben's been on fuego.
9-1, dude. I mean, just like if you play cash games, why would you not want to sign up just to see like what you and I are playing? Like, even if you don't want to like tail us, you want to build your own lineup, like sign up so you can see what we're playing, especially in tournaments, and you can get in the Discord and like, you know, you can annoy us all weekend. Like, say whatever you want to me. That's fine. Like this guy in the YouTube comments, he says we didn't give enough stats because we're doing a podcast on Tuesday morning. Well, come in the Discord. I'll give you all the stats you want, buddy.
Yeah, come on in, hop on in, check out the projections portal that leads us to that as well, guys. I mean, I'm studying that from essentially Tuesday night, Wednesday onward throughout the week, checking ownership projections portal stuff. A karma value is how I sort everything for all our sports. But subscribe, dfskarma.com, and finally, don't forget about betkarma.com. That does it, guys. Good luck this week, and hopefully we have another banger for next week. We'll talk to you then.